I'm Fox 17 meteorologist Greg Bobus, and we're in for a long weekend ahead of us. If you've been following along, you know that we've been preparing for what is now Tropical Depression Francine. It made landfall yesterday, right around 5 o'clock in the afternoon as a Category 2 hurricane. Been getting weaker and weaker ever since then, and now we're taking a look at a very broad picture, but coming back home in the local scope. Rain finally starting to move in. We didn't have a whole lot here the first few hours of the morning or the very early morning hours, but now south of I-40, a few smatterings of a few showers. The places that have been seeing the most consistent rainfall the last hour or so, Winchester now pulling up into Tullahoma, Columbia, brand new ball game for you in the last hour, and same with Centerville. Lawrenceburg, you've been on and off since 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to continue to be this way for a good chunk of the day. This system has slowed down significantly. It has been sitting and rotating just north of Jackson, Mississippi for 3 hours. I mean, there's also a lot of activity to the east. This has broadened out, and the wind has died down. The best chance for severe weather today has pivoted to our south. That is a brand new development this morning. We're not so concerned about spin-up tornadoes during the daylight hours of today as we were yesterday. Threat not necessarily at zero, but it has gone down significantly, and that emphasis now is down to our south and east. So that's good. Problem is that this thing is moving so slow now that I've increased rainfall totals. It's going to take over our forecast all the way through the weekend. That means weekend planning. You've got to plan for rain in the forecast Saturday and Sunday. Not every hour of the day, but both of those days. Here's the weather outlook. Marginal Category 1 risk barely clipping our southern portions of our southern counties. That's just because when they drew the map, that happened to clip it. I'm not really worried about any significant weather. That will stay down to our south. Now, there could be signs of rotation. I'm not saying, again, that we're at zero for that possibility this afternoon into tonight, but it really does ramp up tonight into tomorrow morning and afternoon. Now that's the best chance to see some rotation. Here's our weather outlook for tomorrow. It does go more toward the north. Still only a Category 1 out of 5, the lowest on the scale, and it still is only for brief spin-up tornadoes, but that threat's going to be there morning into early afternoon. Future track does have everything going very slow. Rain meanders very, very, very slowly up toward Nashville late morning into early afternoon. A line of heavier rainfall tracks right along the state line at that exact same time. We continue that upward push of that rain all the way through 5 p.m. And then here's where things get interesting. Where these north to south bands settle in, that's where the heaviest rainfall is going to be. And watch this area right here. Overnight tonight to tomorrow morning, our southwestern counties trend into multiple hours worth of steady rainfall. The areas west of I-65 continue that into the nighttime hours of tomorrow and even into Saturday. By the end of the upcoming weekend, and this is going all the way through Saturday now, keeps going on and off. You're going to have plenty of dry hours, but when the rain comes down, it will be heavy at times. Not a lot of thunder and lightning with this forecast. More so a rainmaker, but that upper atmosphere rotation, that's the reason why we could see a possible spin-up tomorrow. Have ways to get alerts to your phone. Fox 17 Code Red Weather app's the best way to do that. Taking a look, future wind gusts. Most of our wind today going to pivot south of I-40. Not to say it's not going to be breezy in Nashville and even north toward southern Kentucky, but most of our gustier wind will be pivoting toward the south where those heavier rain bands settle in this afternoon. And then wind really isn't a big deal anymore after today. But you know where your garbage can's at? Well, if you don't bring things inside now when you have the chance. By the end of today and tomorrow, especially way south, you could end up finding it down the street a little bit. Keep that in mind. Wind will be a factor. One last thing to talk about here, our drought monitor. Look at the area I'm pointing to here in red, Dixon through Centerville, Columbia, and Linden. Well, those areas have not seen a lot of rain in the last 30 days. They're about 30 to 70% below where we're supposed to be. The more south and west we get, the less rainfall we have seen compared to where we're supposed to be. And the heavier rainfall totals are going to be in those exact same areas. So keep that in mind. Ground's like concrete right now for many of you. That means it could lead to localized or even flash flooding here over the course of the next 2 to 3 days. We'll keep our eyes glued to it and watch out for any flooding potential. We're going to keep the red box for Code Red on today and tomorrow. Because of that chance, we could see a spin-up tornado tonight, but mainly tomorrow. I believe our daylight hours are good today, just very much so on the rainy side. And then Saturday and Sunday, as those storms linger, we fall out of Code Red and lose all possibility of severe weather.